Hey, it's Colleen, and today I wanted to talk about exclusive pumping tips to make it more bearable and help get you through. I have been exclusively pumping for 10 months, which is its own story as to like how we got there and all of that. But I've been doing it for 10 months, and there are some things that I've picked up along the way that have made it a lot more bearable. And I've had a bunch of friends tell me that they wish that I had had my kid before their kids, so that way I could have helped them with all of this along the way. So I thought I'd make a video so in case somebody else finds it helpful or what have you, we can share the love. My cat is threatening to step in front of this camera any second. So if you all of a sudden you see a gray blob come in front of you, that's karma. Come to get you. So anywho, my first biggest top tip that I tell everyone: if you suspect that you might need to exclusively pump for any reason, or are going to have any reason to pump whatsoever really, is to try to get a I like double electric. I guess you could get a single one, but I would definitely recommend a double one because it's going to cut your pumping time in half. But to get a pump that is easy to transport and is rechargeable and is a decent size, so that way you're not clunking around something big and heavy, and you can pump anywhere that you need to whenever you need to. I use a Medela Freestyle. This is the whole motor. It is rechargeable. So and it holds a charge for a really long time. I think I get about 2 to 3 days, and I pump about 4 times a day at this point. And and you can hear it's not very loud. So like I've pumped in the car, I've pumped like at parties, I've pumped in front of people who didn't even know it because I had like a blanket draped over me or whatever, and it was winter, so they thought like rude camera. Let's get you back up here. So yeah, I've pumped everywhere with this thing, and it is nice and light and really compact, like totally fits in the palm of my hand, and that has made all the difference in the world. First thing in the morning when I get up, I pump while I'm getting ready. So like this thing walks around with me all over the house while I'm getting ready. I've swept floors, I've cooked dinner, I've done just about everything while pumping. There's a good chance, like if you ever talk to me for any length of time, that you have probably talked to me while I'm pumping. I spent a lot of my life pumping, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, number one tip. I love this one, the Medela Freestyle. It has worked out really, really great for me. It has a like letdown setting, and then a like longer suck setting. It has adjustable levels, all of that jazz. And it's been my companion for the last 10 months, so it works really great. I think Spectra has a rechargeable wireless cordless pump too. Well, not totally cordless, like it's got the tubes that come out of the top and hook onto the setup on your boobs. But in terms of like having to find an outlet and having to have an electrical source, I think Spectra has one too that'll do that. I think Medela, for their pump-in style, which is really common, I know a lot of insurance companies cover that one specifically. I think they have a car adapter that I would definitely look into getting, especially if you travel a lot or spend any amount of time in your car. I've had to pump in the car, I don't know how many times. It's not my favorite thing to do because it's basically like pumping in public. Let's be honest, like your windows are not super dark, and it's not fun to pump while you're moving. So especially when you're trying to like not spill and pouring the bottles into bags and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a mess. But anywho, that is my number one top tip. Try to get a pump that is cordless, rechargeable, and is a decent size for travel. My second tip is to get a good pumping bra. And these were pretty hard for me to track down. It seems like everybody makes nursing bras. You can find all sorts of varieties of nursing bras to suit any of your needs, but nobody cares about pumping moms. And I'm not talking, I know a lot of companies, especially pump companies, will make like I think they call them bustiers. It's a tube that you put around your chest and it zips up and it has the holes for the flanges. And that thing sucks. It sucks so bad. I would have really bad leaks. It was difficult and complicated to get on, especially a postpartum body. I had really bad preeclampsia. I had to be induced. I had to have a C-section. All in all, I think I had 6 bags of fluid in my IV. And I was already swollen, like, to hell and back before I went into the hospital. So I, like, had a lot of fluid retention and everything like that at the very beginning. That thing did not want to go on. And then all of a sudden I lost a bunch of weight really quickly. It was a big issue. So, and then with, like, it just not sitting right, it still was not totally hands-free. You couldn't really move around a lot because it was just not, like, secured on you very well. You still had to have, like, a separate nursing bra to be able to take your cups down to put that on. I don't like it. I love the Dairy Fairy. TheDairyFairy.com is the site that I found that has really great, really pretty, like, some of my pumping bras are prettier than any regular bras that I've ever owned, no lie. Really good bras for pumping and nursing. I have 3 from them. 2 of them are for pumping and nursing. So if you are nursing, but need to work on keeping your supply up, so you're trying to, like, nurse on one side and pump on the other, you can do that. Like, the cups work interchangeably. And then I've got one that's just a pumping bra. And that probably is part of the reason why I made it through and have been successful with exclusively pumping. Being able to take my pump all over the place and be hands-free when I pumped, huge game changers. Especially when you have a newborn. Like, we did okay until my husband went back to work. He went back to work before I did. And I at one point, I remember I put my daughter in her swing and she was fine. She was totally asleep. Of course, I start the pump and she starts crying. And I'm sitting on the couch, like, a foot away from her, crying too, because I can't use my hands to console her because they're busy holding everything, like, strapped to me very precisely in this, like, dance that I didn't have down super well then. Now I probably still could, like, one arm it and do other things too, just because I spend so much time pumping. But at the time it was just miserable, and trying to figure out routines and everything just sucked, pun intended. So what I would start doing would be I would pump when she needed to eat. I would try to do about every other feeding session for her, just to try to mimic the frequency of a newborn feeding, but also not be super crazy, because newborns eat about every 2 hours, and I would have driven myself insane if I had to pump every 2 hours. So I would lay her down next to me on the bed. I would hook up and I would feed her lying down next to me while I pumped, and then I could, like, change her diaper after and everything. I could do anything with my hands, except I can't bend forward too far because then everything will spill. And I can't, like, put things to my chest. But I have before, like, when she's been sick or whatever, or really clingy, I totally pump and, like, I'm holding her to the side. So it is possible. It just kind of takes practice. But that, huge game changer. Another tip of mine would be to find something that you enjoy and make it your pump activity. So I started I've gone through so many TV shows. What I do is like I watch Netflix shows or YouTube channels, and I would try at the beginning to save like longer YouTube videos that I wanted to watch from channels that were about like 15 minutes ish or so, just for pumping breaks, because that was about how long I needed, and watch those. Now, for the most part, I download shows off of Netflix on my phone, and we'll watch those. Right now, I'm watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and that works great, especially because my place to pump at work is in our basement, and there's no cell service there, so I can't like sit and scroll on my phone. But you totally use that as your like mommy zone out time, if you can. It'll give you something to look forward to, especially if you're like sucked into a show. Because then you'll want to know what happens in the next like 20-minute installment on that show, and it'll give you something to look forward to, and try to distract you from feeling like a cow or feeling like this is what you do all day long. I found that really super helpful. Another thing that I have really bad mom brain all of a sudden. Okay, so rechargeable pumping bras. Find something enjoyable to do. Oh, find yourself a schedule that works. So like I said at the beginning, when she was a newborn, I would pump about every other time she ate, and that way like she would be laying down next to me and she would be taking a bottle, and I knew that I could accomplish those tasks easily while hooked up to the pump. Now that I am back to work and have been for several months, my routine is a little different. I wake up and I hook up my pump, like with the bra and everything, and I stand in the bathroom and like I'll do pretty much everything to get ready except brush my teeth, because I have to bend forward to rinse my mouth out. So I'll like do my hair, and if I decide to wear makeup that day, I'll do that. Put contacts in, wash my face, all of that jazz. Usually I still even have time to go into the kitchen and make coffee, and then I will get all of that ready, get all my milk and everything out, pack up my pump bag for the day, minus what I'm using, and then be ready to go. And then I have a pump break at work, I pump after work, and then I pump before bed, and it works great. My husband just came home. He's going to be really confused. All the dogs went running. But yeah, so that's really my best advice there. Like, get yourself a schedule that works. It might take some trial and error. It did take a while for me to figure that out and be comfortable with it. But comment down below if there's anything else that you have done that helps, or that you wish that you would have known back in the day, or that somebody has told you that has totally changed your relationship with pumping. And we will see you later. Bye.